Hi there. In this video I'm going to give you a quick tour of my sim racing corner, my gear and the modifications I've made. Hopefully you enjoy it. So let's get started. The main cockpit, that's some Sim Labs, aluminium extrusion. It's an old one, it's a couple of years old. They're a little bit nicer now. They've improved their designs over a couple of years, but you won't be able to recognise it if you looked on their website now. And I've made my own modifications, so it's and all the sort of stuff hanging off it, you can't tell. So the wheel, that's a 52 Cole Morgan motor. You can just see it there. Go to the back. It's a bit hidden away. I'll lift the monitor out of the way. There you go. So that's direct drive motor. And that's a Bodnar SimSteering 2. Next to that is my Rekhorn amp. That runs single transducer under the pedal base. I've only got one, because I've got motion. I've got a next level motion V3, so I don't feel I need anything at the back. The pedals, they're Heusinkveld. And that's, I've even modded these to fit me, my purposes. I've got my own heel plate, that's velcroed on. Just to lift my feet up a bit, because they're really tall, they're just far too tall for me. And it was difficult to get good purchase when top of your feet are kind of there. So I just raising a little bit, just enough. I don't run an H pattern setup, so I still need a clutch for starts to help get off the line, but I stuck it to the side just to keep it out of the way, just so I could have the central pedals I use in a comfortable position and just leave it out of the way. That's the reason why it kind of looks a bit kind of skew-iff like that. Their pedal plate is good. It comes with the pedals you can buy. It's just a bit too narrow for me, so that's why I got this arrangement like this. Let's get out. The wheel rim there, that's a 30cm sports line. It's lovely feel. It's leather. It's a nice size, 30cm. I think for me, I just feels like you can just cover all your bases really. You can do GT cars, F1, LMP. At a push rally, it's a little bit small for rally for me, but you can still do it. But you just need one rim to kind of do it all really, and that. I think that's just perfect wheel. It's got really nice grips on it. On here, there's an Ascher button plate. Pretty old one. This is one of the early ones when he kind of started out. So it's not quite as nice as what he does now. And it's just near to buttons and it's just kind of toggle switches there. And that's it. There's no rotary encoders or joysticks or anything fancy. And even the rear is quite simple on this one, because it was the cheapest one they had at the time when I bought it as well. So you can see what you expect is magnetic shifters. You can see the kind of you can see the wiring, and I added hot glue to the connections because they were open before. Just wires going onto the kind of connectors at the back of the buttons, and I just wanted to protect them. So that's just my ugly kind of dollops of glue I put on. And there you go, there's some Q&R quick releases. There you go, base side, wheel side. Smash that back on if I can. Yeah, there you go. Let's get in the seat and I'll show you this stuff. That's a Derek Spears button box, so pretty basic one. Like $100 shipped from the US, and that's attached using a ram mount, which produces, it's quite solid. There's ram mount holes in the back, just basically two holes drilled out, and that's just, you can maybe able to see how it's kind of like attached to the profile there. Okay, a trackpad, cheap USB trackpad, and this just is better than a mouse, at least for me. When I'm strapped in the seat, I used to have the mouse on the tabletop at the back, and this button box is on the right. The mouse used to kind of jiggle around and move around and jump off the table occasionally, and it was hard to reach because when you're strapped in, it's just really far to get to it. You know, it's a massive stretch. So sometimes you have to unstrap from the harness. It's difficult. So came up with this idea. Little trackpad is well within reach. It's just velcroed on, and here we go. In games, you can just see. There you go, moving around. So it's a mouse is always better, right? But just for moving around games and launching games, perfect. You know, it's not a daily driver, but it works really well in this environment. To the left, let's go out a bit. That's an Aiologs sequential shifter. That's just a dust cover I made just to protect to cover the hole there to prevent dirt going in. This is a really nice shifter. You can just hear it. It's got a really nice kind of mechanical sound, and it's got a nice feel. I also have an HE shifter, and this is better. I have to say this is better. It just feels a bit nicer. You know, the other one does exactly the same thing, but you know, if you compare them like to like, then it's cheaper as well. It's a cheaper shifter. It's like $160. It's from Russia. So there's some like poster and packing, you know, but it's still cheaper than the HE shifter, which is a great shifter. You know, I can't condemn it. It's just got that thing where it just feels more realistic, right? And here is a Heusinkveld Handbrake. Let's just see. I'll come out and you can see how it's all mounted on, which is one of the great things about extrusion, aluminium extrusion cockpits, is you can just stick stuff on wherever you need it. And this is kind of a recent amendments I made. I had a different arrangement on how this was kind of all attached, and this is just more of the kind of final solution I found, which is nicer. You know, when you get these bespoke bits of gear like this, which just have like strange mounting arrangements, which are just for themselves, you have to kind of find, especially the handbrake. I mean, you know, that's just a weird shape, right? So it's really tough to kind of mount on anywhere, especially when you start kind of adding all your gear around it. You have to find all these different ways of slotting things in, and I just cut some bits up, you know, connected them up, and there you go. It's great. Everything's in a nice position for me. Over here we have my keyboard, and you can see a dash cam app. That's Dash Meter Pro. It's nothing to do with Wreckfest over here. I just put it on to give a demonstration of what I was using it for, right? Okay. So this is another mod I made. I saw someone on the forum do something similar, and I just kind of borrowed the idea and just adapted it to my own use. So you can see just some bit of profile there attached to the upright, and here's just a cheap monitor stand, which is like £15. I cut it down a bit because it's quite tall. I didn't need the height. Removed one of these arms, had an extension arm to here, so moved the VESA plate back to here, and it's just unbolting it and just putting it back there. This is some MDF which I cut out with a jigsaw and painted and screwed into the back there. There's a couple of little L brackets here for the tray to sit on, and it's just velcroed on. That's brilliant. Yeah, it's really cheap. I mean, this was like £15. Wood's nothing, you know, a bit of paint. And it swings in and out. I swing it out to get into the seat, and just swing it back in. And there you go. It's really, really useful. Just a fan. Everyone needs a fan in sim racing, right? It gets really, really hot. In the back, you can see there's my Vive for sim racing and other VR. I like VR. The monitor, I'm just going to move it down again, just put it into place. And that's a 35-inch Predator monitor, so 1080 by 2160, high refresh rate. One thing I'm quite proud about is the mounting solution I kind of came up with. So it's a big chunky monitor arm to handle that big monitor, right? I used to have two of the same monitors. There's one on the rig and then there's one on the desktop here. And I figured that I might be able to kind of kill two birds really, and if this would work. So it's a bit of a stab in the dark, and I was pretty pleased with the results. So that's attached to, there's the upright, which is the main upright for all the gear really, right? There's only one upright. And then there's that horizontal piece here. And right at the end is a vertical piece, another horizontal section. It's all joined on, and then this is kind of bolted through right at the end. So it just shows you how strong the profile is really. It's bearing a lot of weight and it's all kind of like weighing down there, but it's very stable. In racing, yeah, there's a little bit of movement here, but it's kind of like within a small range, because everything it's all very heavy duty and weighty, so it's not like flying around. It all stays. The arm doesn't move round. You just get a little bit of wobble on the monitor there like that, which you don't notice when you're racing when the car's moving anyway. Some people just don't like stuff attached to their rig like that. Maybe if it's triples and the bezels are kind of clattering around, but with a single monitor, it works just fine for me. I don't notice anything move around. If you look at the bezel, you have to look at the bezel to see the side kind of wobbling a little bit, but you're not looking at that. It's not distracting or anything. So I'll show you how easy it is to move it to that position for when I want to use it as a desktop monitor. So one-handed, there you go, just gone up, swing round, there you go, easy. So yeah, that's great, I'm really pleased with that. Let's get out of the way, we can have a look at my other wheels. So, Fnatic Formula 1 wheel, which you probably recognise, converted to USB. I bought it already converted, I didn't do that myself. Got it from some chap on a forum. I replaced the paddles, shifters, with those SOM, which is Simracing machines. Because I was like, so I'll show you, these are, you might or might not recognise these. So these are the paddles that come with it, and they're nice solid paddles. They like the click. It's not magnetic. It's just a spring. So that's just metal hitting metal and makes that noise rather than the kind of magnetic kind of snap action. There's no snap action there. It's just spring. But they're nice. I wouldn't have changed these had there not been the kind of limitation of the length of those paddles. They're too short. So if I can show you, yeah, okay. So you can see my reach there. That seems perfect, right? Seems normal. But on those other ones, you have to kind of reach past the end of this paddle. So it's really end of fingertips. It's really kind of awkward. I wasn't very comfortable over long times. It could just be my hands. They might be a bit small, right? The finger length. So fair enough. That just might be my issue, right? But so if we put it up, you can just see it. So you see it join onto the side. That's not how they are. That just shows you the difference. And it's easy to change over. You do it from the outside. So there's bolt holes which go all the way through, and you just remove those and then put this in. You do have to remove this plate here. So there's 4 screws there, and it just lifts off, just so you can get to the little plug. And you pull the other one out, this one out, put the new one in, and that's it. There's no soldering. It's a really quick job. Even if you don't have it converted to USB, I think that's just a fantastic upgrade for this. I've also got a adapter, and that's from Simracing machines as well. So that goes from the Fnatic wheel side, which is a non-standard kind of arrangement, to a standard kind of 70mm bolt pattern. When I bought this, the fella had an aluminium square plate which he drilled through on both sides, and it was okay. It wasn't beautiful, but it worked. But it's a little bit kind of off centre. It's a bit askew. which you didn't really you didn't notice. It wasn't enough to notice when you're driving, but you could see it. And when I got these, I thought I might as well just fix that problem and just make it into the wheel where it kind of should have been, really. There you go. Okay. And this one, we'll have a wheel. That's a 32cm OMP thing. I don't know what model it's called. It's going to have a fancy name, right? And Q&R quick release. These are Ascher pedals, and they do a kit which is a really bare plate, really. So you've got a plate at the back which you attach to the paddles to. Comes with the USB, and that's it, really, and the wiring you need. But there's no controller box, so that's using a Bodnar controller, little tiny one. And you kind of get these spacers as well with the Ascher kit. Not sure, you probably get some, bolts. I don't know. They're cheap anyway, right? And it's all kind of just shoved in. So this is kind of like me messing around and seeing if I get it all into the unit behind it. Because if you take the Q&R off, everything else it all just falls out, because that's what the kit is. It's kind of bare bones, right? So it's a shame they don't produce a kit without all the buttons and all the expensive other furniture around it. And some people just might want the paddles. If you've already got a button box, you might not need all this other stuff to bring up the price. And it'd be nice if someone produced something which is just more of a cheaper, basic kind of just paddle, so you can upgrade a wheel without all the stuff. Nearly forgot this. Right, so down here is my Next Level Motion V3, and that's just my custom mount I kind of created with just a bit of profile. I didn't really have to do a lot. It's just I bought these two pieces, and then you can see it just bolts through those pretty standard connectors, and then attached down here to the existing profile there, and that was it. Very easy. The seat is a Sparco R100. I think that's about it, really. I don't know if it has anything else. And that's a pretty lightweight seat, a cheap reclining seat. You can see how it's mounted there. And that's just a bit of profile I had to use, because although the mounting holes on the Next Level Motion platform here to here is fine, that's just normal standardized distance, but the width isn't. It's about 1 centimetre out. It's half a centimetre on each side, 5 mil on each side. So you can just see, if you look to the bolts, they don't line up all the way from there to there. So I've used some profile to just go in between to bridge that gap. You can drill these holes down here to make that, to make the distance you need, but I just didn't want to. I didn't want to do that. So that was my solution. That's some 30 profile. It raises the seat up a little bit, but it's no different from if you buy the whole Next Level cockpit and everything else. It comes with like a box bracket here which has for where you attach your gear shifters to, and so it's kind of within the tolerance of what is supposed to be anyway. And that's it. Okay, so over here, that's my PC, and that's a i7 8770K, 16 gig, and that's running a 1080 Ti. Mainly so I can get as much as I can out of the VR. VR really runs PCs hard, so it's expensive. It's expensive to run VR, but it is what it is, right? Okay, so I've got a quick view. You can have a scan of it. What we got here. There you go. So I'm kind of planning I may do a few more videos, and I'll cover some of my gear in a bit more depth. Talk about VR a little bit, because I really like VR racing. But yeah, if you've got any questions about what you've seen so far, or just want to say hi, leave some comments. I'll be happy to reply. I hope you enjoyed this video, and take care. Bye bye.